Okay, hello everybody. Hello, hello. Hopefully you're able to hear myself. Good evening. Thank you for joining me. My name is Jasmine C.L. Baker, and I am a one of the writing coaches with Beyond the Book Media. So I am so happy to see you all this evening. Please introduce yourself as you come in. But before we get started, we are gearing up for Map Your Book Out Challenge. It's a 3-day writing challenge to help you write your book. So, this challenge is literally going to equip you with the motivation and tools to write your book that God has called you to write. So, join us. All right. Get these dates down. April 25th through 27th, we're going to have Our Power, a masterclass writing parties, and our big after party that's going to be over on Clubhouse. Yes, we are still very much active and popping on Clubhouse. So meet us over there for the after party. Did I mention that this is free, right? All 3 days are free. You're going to get all these every single day, all 3 of those days. It's absolutely free. So come, bring a friend. The only caveat is you have to register. So you see the ticker going across the bottom. The website is mapyourbookout.com. So go register. Make sure you join us. This is going to be phenomenal. Okay, so let me slow down. I'm getting it way ahead of myself. All right. So before we get started, like I said, when you come in, please say hello. Let me know you're joining, where you are joining from. I would love to greet you as you're coming in. Hopefully, you all can hear me. Please let me know so I make sure you can hear what I'm saying. But like I said, we are gearing up for Map Your Book Out. So I just want to make sure that everything's okay and that you all can hear me. Again, my name is Jasmine C.L. Baker, and um, I'm one of the writing coaches. So um, I'm so excited about this. Okay, yes, I see myself. Okay, so just want to make sure that I am able to be seen. So I am one of the writing coaches. There are four of us, and I am one of them. And I have been with Beyond the Book Media since it began. When Chanel got the whole idea, and she just put out the status like, "Hey, does anybody need accountability help writing a book?" I was one of those initial people that jumped in like, "Hey, yeah, I actually do need help and accountability writing a book." I've known that I've had some books in me that I've needed to write for some time, and I just was putting it off, putting it off because it's just the concept of writing a book and literally creating something out of nothing just seemed way too far fetched for me, and so the thought of an accountability group of like-minded people who were trying to accomplish the same thing I was doing um, was something that was very appealing for me. So I started from the beginning when she was doing the challenges. I think back then there were 21 days too. Um, but I was never able to um, complete a book, and I just didn't know what was happening. And this was in 2019. She started February 14th, 2019. And so every challenge she had, I was in there trying to write my book, and nothing was happening. I never finished. So we got to December of 2019, and Janelle was like, there are some people who need to finish their books before the decade closes out. And I knew that she was speaking to me. And so that was the first time that she did boot camp. It's not called boot camp anymore. It's called Brand Author Academy, but at the time it was called boot camp. And so I went through the very first boot camp. It was still 21 days, but it was more, it was a smaller group. So that helped me a lot more than having everybody. And so I was able to complete it. Then I finished my first book in that very first boot camp. I was so excited. Little did I know that writing it though was not, that wasn't everything. Like you said, to go through publishing, but Beyond the Book Media did help me write my book. It also helped me publish it. And so my very first book that's called Grieve, Heal, Thrive, Repeat Practical Tips for Navigating Grief and Loss, is the book that I finished in the boot camp. And I should say the reason why I wasn't able to finish the book in any of the previous sessions was because I was writing the book that I wanted to write and not the book the Holy Spirit was telling me to write. And so there was all this friction and this back and forth and this battle between his will and mine. And until I finally conceded and just decided to be obedient, I was hitting a wall. And so when I finally did concede and write the hard book that I didn't want to touch, I felt like I wasn't ready to, discuss losing my mom and all the things that I had grieved that I didn't know how to process it. I didn't know what I was doing. All of that I just didn't feel like dealing with. And Holy Spirit was like, no, this is what I need you to deal with. And so that started us just this whole not trend, this whole journey of me learning what grief meant, learning what it looked like, and learning how I could take my experience, turn it into a book, and then go and help other people to navigate through what I had navigated and gone through. And so that was a book that I did complete with Beyond the Book Media. And then after that, Chanel asked me to come on as a coach. And so I went from being a um, boot camper to a coach. So the very next one we did in March of 2020, when you know, the pandemic is here. I was in a coach, and I went through being a coach, and that's what I'm still doing with the company now. And so, Beyond Book Media is just that place where if you have that difficult book, like grief or the hard issues of being a mother or ministry or abuse, anything like that that you're finding that's very difficult and you haven't been able to finish it and you just don't know why. Beyond the Book Media has been graced to be that space to help people can do the hard thing, right? Write the hard book, write the one that's not pretty, the one that's not easy, the one that's not all rainbow and sunshine. Most people that we've seen come through, um, be it the writing camp or the boot camp or the Brand Author Academy, they have those difficult books and they're just like, I just can't do it anywhere else. And there's just this grace that comes over our writing parties that you just don't see anywhere else. And so if that's you and you have a difficult book that you have been sitting on and just the thought of having to do it just seems completely overwhelming and you just don't know where to start, even if you've been through our programs before and you just haven't done it, I would really admonish you to consult Holy Spirit. Because like I said, with me, I knew there were two books I needed to write. It's just I was trying to write the wrong one I was trying to write the wrong one at the wrong time. And so even being out of alignment with which book you're supposed to write at a certain time could also be the thing that's holding you back from finishing it. So if you've probably been through our Map Your Book Outs before, you've been through our challenges before, and you just haven't finished, I would admonish you to, over this weekend before we start the challenge, really seek Holy Spirit about which book you're supposed to write. And then this is where I come in, grieve, right? If it's a different book than what you were wanting to write or that you have been trying to write, and he's like, no, I need you to write this other book. You need to grieve the fact that you can't write the book that you want to write right then. That's a hard thing because we're wanting to do what we want to do, and just having to give up that control and be obedient to our Father can sometimes, it's not fun all the time. And I know sometimes people think, just because we hear Holy Spirit and he gives us direction, it makes it easy. It doesn't always make it easy because we are still in our flesh and we still want to do what we want to do. And so if you're finding that there's that conflict and he's like, no, this is the book that I need you to write, and you just don't want to write it, that's not uncommon. But you do need to grieve the fact that you're not able to write the book that you want to write right now. It's not to say that you'll never write it. You're just not necessarily going to write it right then. And then once you are able to grieve and process that and accept that you're writing a different book, I think you'll find that this next Map Your Book Out that's coming up, I think you'll find this release and this heaviness that's been lifted, and your creativity will be unlocked, and that you'll be able to connect and partner with Holy Spirit in the book that he needs for you to write, because we don't know which lives will be connected to the books that we write, right? He knows everything. He knows who needs what stories when. And so even though you're not wanting to touch that particular book right then, you don't know who needs to hear it right then. And by you trying to continue to do what you want to do and continue to be disobedient, you don't know what lives you are then um, putting at stake because you're not wanting to give up control and do what it is the Holy Spirit has called you to do. So, my biggest thing is that, like I said, if you have gone through any of our not meet the fan, just we're doing. If you have gone through any of our map your book outs or challenge or anything like that before and you haven't finished it, go take this time this weekend and consult Holy Spirit about which book you're supposed to write right now, because that does matter. If you are trying to write the wrong book, it's not going to work. And that's why you might be seeing that you keep going and putting in the effort and you're like your dedication is not the issue, your timing is not the issue. You show up, you're ready, you're following the outline, you're doing everything we're telling you to do, and you're still like something is not working. You're probably writing the wrong book. And so, like I said, you need to make sure you consult Holy Spirit about which book you're supposed to write, grieve the fact that it's not the one that you want to write, and then accept it. And then you'll be able to partner with Him, because ultimately these are His stories. He's just using us as the vessels to put them out into the earth realm. And so you want to be in alignment with that. You want to be in partnership with Him, because, like I said, lives are attached to these stories. They're not ours, they're His. And so He knows which ones need to be put out and when. And if you continue to fight Him on that, then there's no telling what's happening on the other side of that. So, a little bit more about me and what I do. I primarily work in the grief and loss space. Like I said, my book that I wrote is about grief and loss. You can get that on Amazon. I will link that in the comments after I get off. Hi, thank you for joining. Um, I gotta see. I don't know where you're joining from Facebook. Okay, I need to get on Facebook so I can see, because I don't want to say hi. I want to say your actual name. So let me go and see who this is joining us. Thank you so much. Oh, hey Chanel. Oh, thank you. So yeah, you want to definitely make sure you are partnering with Holy Spirit and writing the right book at the right time, because that can just be what the holdup is. Yeah, I see. That could be what the holdup is, why you've gone through so many of these challenges and you're not finishing. It's because you're like me, you're trying to write the wrong book at the wrong time. So you need to consult Holy Spirit about which book you're supposed to be writing during this next map your book out. If it's not the one that you've been trying to write, you need to grieve the fact that it's not the one that you wanted to write and give up that control, because that could be blocking you to become a hindrance. And then once you've done that, then you can partner with Holy Spirit to write the book that He needs you to write, so that the souls that are attached to that, the lives who are going to read that particular book, are going to get the help that they need. Because, like I said before, we are just vessels for these stories, and He knows who needs to hear it and when. And although it might not have been your plan about which one that He's having you write out during this map your book out, He knows who needs what you have, right? And like I said, they're not ours. We're just the vessels He's using to put them into the earth realm. And so you want to make sure that you are in alignment with that. So, like I said, I primarily work in the grief and loss space. Beyond Book Media did help me write and publish my first book, called Grieve, Heal, Thrive, Repeat: Practical Tips for Navigating Grief and Loss. And so in that book, I kind of journey through my experience with grief and loss, not just with losing my mom, but other things that I found out that were not related to a physical death of somebody, that I also needed to grieve, that I had no idea that I needed to grieve. Because anytime you think of grief, the first thing you think about is somebody dying. But there are so many other things in our lives that we lose that we also need to grieve. So I kind of journey through what my experiences were in grief and loss, and I give some tips, some do's and don'ts, some yeses and some nos about how you personally. Yes, it was an amazing experience. Definitely plan to do it again. Thank you. So I give some tips and some tricks on, not tips and tricks, but some tips and suggestions on how you can navigate through loss. If you personally haven't dealt with it and you know somebody who has and you just don't know what to say, that's okay. For some reason, especially among church people, grief is a taboo topic still. And so I also give some tips, some do's and don'ts on how you can support somebody who's grieving, and then you should shy away from and not say and not do to somebody who when they are grieving, because you could potentially be doing more harm than good. And we all know that people's intentions are good and their hearts are in the right place, but at the end of the day, something that you could say to somebody who's grieving could set them back further than where they were. And so that's what my book is about. Like I said, I will drop the link when I get off. It's available on Amazon. Um, but aside from grief and loss, I'm a new mom, and so I'm feeling. I'm not feeling. I am also taking what I know in grief and loss and applying it to motherhood, and so that has been an interesting journey slash pivot on where Holy Spirit is taking me with that, because there's just so much that I'm seeing that as moms we have to grieve and that we need to grieve. That me before I became a mom, I just never would have thought about it. Um, but there's a lot of stuff, that I've learned since becoming a mom that I just have to come to terms with, and then I have to grieve so that I can be a better mom. I can be a better partner for our daughter. And so that's a space that I'm also moving into, taking what I know and what I've coached people through before, and just kind of niching down a little bit more to helping moms in the things that we face that are unique to being a mom. That you just won't understand unless you are a mom. And so just opening up that avenue and expanding my business in that way. So that is, yeah, basically what I'm saying. You all to just join us. April, I don't want to butcher these dates. Let me look at it again just to be sure. April, I literally just had it. There it is, 25th to 27th. April 25th to 27th. Like I said, every night there, or every day, there will be, you'll get the motivation that you need. There'll be Our Power masterclass sessions, writing parties, and the big after party will be on Clubhouse. So like I said, all of this is absolutely free. So you need to come. You need to bring all of your friends who need to write a book. The only caveat that there is that you have to register. And the link is going across the bottom of the screen. It's simple. Chanel made it very easy for you. It's just mappyourbookout.com. So you want to register for that. This registering will also send out reminders. So if you just don't remember something, it's okay. You'll get a reminder about it. You'll get all the links that you need. So if you don't register, you won't know anything, because all the information only goes out to people who register. So it's not kind of like one of those things where like, oh, I'm not going to register, but I'm still going to show up. You're not going to know where to show up to. So you just need to make sure you register. Like I said, again, it's free. So it doesn't cost you anything. And it's really a phenomenal week that we have planned for you all. And we're really just going to motivate you and empower you to get these books done that you need to get done. You will see, we saw Desiree last night. You're seeing me tonight. We still have 2 more coaches for you all to meet. So we are all just going to be here to help you. We're going to take you through just mapping out your outline, because we know that the foundation of your book starts with a strong outline. And so this formula has been proven over the 4 years, I think, that we've been doing this. It works. If you stick to the outline, you will finish your book. If you stray away from it and you don't finish, you can't really put that on us, because we gave you the formula. You just kind of, so you just, results come from sticking to the roadmap that is provided. So we're going to take you through how to outline your book, and then we're just going to have, like I said, there's master classes and hours of powers, and everything that you need to get it done is going to be provided for you. So again, join us April 25th to 27th. We're going to have everything mapped out for you. You need to register at mappyourbookout.com. And my name is Jasmine C.L. Baker. I will drop all of my social media links for you to follow me, especially if you are a mom and you want to be connected with me. I have some things coming out. My website is almost done. I'm working on a newsletter. So I have a lot of stuff coming up. If you want to stay connected with me, I will drop my social medias so that you're able to do that. But yep, that is all I have for you all tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. Make sure, again, you register at mappyourbookout.com. We can't wait to see you all. next week. Have a great night. Bye.